For the last time.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this series.
Yes. There will be more videos. This is just our last Great British Sewing Bee chat. That can sometimes be a mouthful to say as it goes.
Yeah, the final.
Yes. And if you haven't seen, you should probably not watch this bit, but obviously Juliet won. In style though. That sounded really flat. I'm tired. I'm sorry, people. But yes.
Which was great. She did deserve it.
Yes,
didn't she?
completely. She
And,
absolutely did.
she has been, apart from week 1, where I think we said she'd stumbled a bit, she has been consistently delivering every other episode. It was a deserved win.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. So for the first challenge, we had the waistcoats. And yes, Juliet completely nailed it. She was the only one to get it stitched perfect, pretty much.
Yeah, the others had problems with the collar, didn't they?
Yeah. So
And I mean,
being a bit raised.
we were cheering for Ricardo.
Yeah.
We were.
And he made a fabulous fabric choice. That's silk.
Colour on the back.
And it was just so common. And then it was just the bagging. He just didn't catch on the edge. And
Did it come
And then
time,
kind of from that point onwards,
Yeah.
my hopes of Ricardo died with his waistcoat.
Yeah.
Well, it was going to be harder for him, wasn't it, after that?
Yeah, very much so. And then Leah wasn't as good either.
She had a bit of flappage.
Yeah.
But still better, though. We already, by the time we saw that first challenge, we knew that it was Ricardo, Leah, and then
And then Juliet at the top.
So the transformation challenge.
Yes, so we were on neck curtains.
Yeah.
Well, no, was it neck? Oh, it was neck
Yes.
curtains, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it wasn't curtains.
It was just that. Yeah, the curtains was the other week, and we kind of got annoyed that Jen had already done a neck curtain
Juliet.
dress.
Yeah.
Juliet had already done a neck curtain dress.
Yes.
And had been given, garment of the week with it, which I didn't like either.
No.
But then she seemed to do spectacularly, terribly.
Well, she was spending
Quite
all the
average.
time on the top, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, faffing around with all
Yeah.
of that. And then the neck curtain was thrown up, and yet they absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And I pointed out that the neck curtain was going the wrong way. She picked a neck curtain with raindrops that then went round instead of down. And it was just literally thrown up, not hemmed or anything like that, versus Ricardo, who had cut out, pattern matched, that big pattern, lined it, fully
Yeah.
done it.
I've been thinking about this. I don't know whether there's an editing theory here where to try and make us feel that someone else could possibly win the programme, they edited Juliet as
Fine.
if to see...
I
as
don't
if
have
she
a problem with that,
did
but
it
they
at the last
don't
minute.
let her win that challenge
Calm down.
on such a shoddily made dress.
She didn't win, did she?
She did that one as well. They were like, this is wonderful. When they came out, they were like, this is wonderful, because I nearly
Take a breath.
walked out of the room.
It's okay, Ting.
Evidence on the other video.
Yeah, this is what it was like on our...
Yes, this is true. But her top part was quite... it was
But
beautiful.
it wasn't made out of a net curtain, though, was it?
No, but the whole point is to transform it and to use what you want into a new outfit. Isn't
Yeah,
that
but
the
they
point?
did...
Because that's why
they
you
did
can
say-
use fabric from the
They did say,
haberdashery.
though, the end product should be based on the net curtain.
Which
But the
she
whole
looked like
bottom
she'd
of her
put on with a
skirt was.
staple gun.
Yeah. It did, yes.
So much so that and I'm really sorry, Jen, I can't remember what Jen
Juliet.
did. No, because I
Leah.
was so... sorry, Lee.
He's getting all his names
I was
back
so
and forth.
angry
Get
with
worked
Juliet, and then I loved Ricardo's, that actually Leah's is just fair. I couldn't tell you what Leah did with it.
Yeah. Well, Ricardo's was that beautiful... I keep wanting to say two-piece, but it was one-piece, was it? No, a two-piece.
Well, he started off, it was very long, and then when it came out, it had been shortened.
It was one piece.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a one piece.
Yes, it could be.
But it was that lovely green fabric underneath
Yes, it was beautiful.
with that
It
big
was
pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was lovely.
That was the one time I thought he would have been genuinely robbed there, because he had
Yeah.
done really well with that. And you've got to remember that those challenges are 90 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he was also robbed on the other curtain challenge.
No, he
remember-
won that one. Because
Did
that was
I-
that lovely
Yes.
silver one. We loved that dress, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
Pale
antique
grey and
pattern.
the little florally bits on.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because Juliet won the curtain challenge the previous time with the dress that you didn't like. And we were complaining that he was robbed then as well.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah. We wanted him to win with that beautiful retro style dress. But yes, either way.
Yeah, we just wanted him to win, didn't we? So
Yes.
we got to that
We were
point where
rooting
we
for
just
him.
knew he was out,
Yeah.
didn't we?
But
I
I think,
think-
because
I think-
did Leah
too.
not win the transformation challenge? Because we said she won the second challenge. And then we thought, oh, she's making a comeback.
Can't remember.
She did, because none of the other two won, because none of the favourites won the transformation challenge. And I'm struggling now to remember what it's been a week, and I'm now forgetting, we apologise. But Leah won the transformation challenge.
Right, okay, if you say so.
Oh, Ouch! Ouch!
Yes, because it was very close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the other video is obviously filmed in real time with your.
Yeah.
He wasn't reading your messages; it was me reading your messages
Oh, I
all the
couldn't cope
time.
with that. I was too busy watching.
First George.
And so you'll get our other real reactions along the way.
Yeah. But yes, it was interesting to see. But then the final
But
challenge,
they didn't like. I think what annoyed me most about that is that they liked Juliet over Ricardo's in that challenge, and we'd already kind of gone. After the first challenge, he's not going to win it, and then this was like, oh, maybe he's clawed it back. But then when they went and looked at that hideous thing that Juliet created and went and said how wonderful it was, I was just like, now we're in bias territory.
No, you see, I like Juliet, so I'm completely unside. I actually liked her
Well, you
dress.
weren't watching closely enough.
I was, but I just thought it was so nice and clean and nice and simply done and just nice and elegant. So I liked it. So yes, we'll have to put him in the middle in a minute. But yes, it was good. But the last dresses, Juliet ran away with that. So the
Yeah.
final challenge was the
It was
Taylor
the-
challenge. It was
yeah.
an evening gown, ball
Something
gown.
for the red carpet idea.
Yeah.
Which she
wasn't it?
designed herself, hadn't she, with that
Yes.
lovely
It
top
was just
line.
so luxurious and so
Although, as I
Yes,
pointed out,
thick.
that fabric's quite thick.
It
Walking
was.
down the red carpet like
Thick,
that.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
But it was
Heavy.
strong enough to hold up. She wasn't having to
Oh,
hold
it was
the
strong
dress
enough to hold up, but I imagine the weight of the whole thing.
because she corseted it.
But just wearing the whole thing for the if you were out in the
you gradually
evening.
shrunk a couple of inches by the end of the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, most definitely.
But Leah's concept looked stunning though, didn't it? With the floaty.
I wasn't
floor.
bothered by hers at all.
Oh, do you know what I love?
I thought, oh, that's a nice summer dress.
I mean, you had to admire her construction because
Yeah.
she created the bodice underneath that and hung the dress off the corset
Yeah.
so you couldn't see the construction because
Yeah, so
obviously
it
it then
was all
flowed.
floaty.
But then part of it was like, well, you've just wrapped the towel around you and then tied a belt round.
Pretty much.
Because there is a nice reference, I believe, to towels in our
There
videos.
was, yeah. Coming out of the
I'm
shower.
gonna have to watch this and find out. I don't think I want to know.
But she was dealing with a difficult fabric.
Yes,
though,
that
wasn't
was
She
the
didn't have
important
to,
thing.
did she? She could
No,
choose
no, but
whatever she wanted.
No, but she had the skill there, and that's when you think, right? Well, she was a deserved member of the final.
Yes,
really.
yeah. Oh, very much so.
But-
But Juliet's was also a hard fabric. That heavy duty fabric to try and run through and keep it. It's hard going, like.
So, what was Ricardo thinking when he came up with his
He was-
jellyfish idea?
Well, he
Well,
did
it's-
explain his thinking.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily saying it was sane thinking,
No. But
the
he was clearly
concept
going
was
for the
there.
wow factor
Yeah.
in the real showstopper. Like, we all remember his dress.
yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
do. But did it make us go, "Wow, that's stunning," or was it, "Wow, that's unique and different"?
Most definitely the unique. But if
Just
you had to
see-
finish it off in a slightly, like the various things that Esme said, I think that would
I
have made
think
a nice
that
difference
was
to
the
it.
thing is that he had made that coat so well
Yeah.
and finished that so well with the lining and everything. I know he hadn't
Yeah.
lined the sleeves, but you know the general finish of that coat. And yeah, there was a lot of construction because he had to create the the hoops and the frame underneath the dress and then everything else.
Yeah.
But it did just look like everything had been thrown together at the last
Yeah.
minute. And it doesn't help with that organza-y type material that
Yeah.
it frays, although that was part of the design because
Yeah,
he put
and
the
his-
seams on the outside to
Yeah.
create that movement. But to me, that pinky organza didn't seem attached to anything. It looks like it was just thrown over
It
at the
was,
last
It
minute.
was,
Yeah.
and she was literally
it was
hemming
that
it with,
finishing,
with her in
yeah.
it.
And
Which is like-
again, this is when you go back to it's the final. This is something you've practiced.
Mm-hmm.
He'd gone out and he'd got that. Well, they didn't use boning, did he? He used that
Oh, yeah, the
piping from the
piping thing.
DIY
Yeah.
store. But he'd
Clever.
obviously gone
Clever
out
idea.
and researched the best way to do that. But had he researched whether he could do it in 6 hours? That was the thing.
And whether it looked the part for the challenge name of being a red carpet garment.
Yeah.
I think it could have been
if it'd been
if it had
done
been
right.
finished off properly. I don't, and again with the editing, I don't know why he didn't get that finished. Because there wasn't anything major. Nothing went majorly wrong for
No.
him. It wasn't like you thought, oh, we cut everything out wrong and he had to start again. He seemed to be just going through, and then it got to the end, and there was this mad rush of it hasn't quite gone together.
Yeah, he hadn't quite, and it was just looked a bit janky when he did finish it, like the wonky hem, and
Yeah, it just didn't.
whereas Juliet's,
We were just gutted at that point when we saw that, and you just
Yeah.
think, oh.
and the more I didn't like Leah's, hers was finished off so very well and
yeah.
really done nicely. As you say, I was working very fine
The
fabric.
thing is, it's that decision you have to make. I mean, okay, Leah's corset underneath was where the work was put in.
Yes.
but over the top, it was the most basic thing ever. But
Yeah.
as long as you do that perfectly,
Yeah.
and that's sometimes where you
It's
have to.
enough.
The payoff is do you do something a bit more out there, like Ricardo, that
Enough
requires a
finish.
little bit more work. But then if you do something very simple, like Leah did, you've got to have it bang on,
Yeah.
or otherwise
Yes.
they're going to rip you apart.
Yeah. But then it didn't matter at the end of it because Juliet's was just stunning. Like, I seen that and I was like, oh my good grief.
Yeah, you couldn't
It was
argue. And in fact, it got to
Fitted
the
the
point
criteria, didn't it?
where we were watching
yes. Can
and
you
we were
imagine?
slightly concerned that Leah was going to win.
Yeah.
To get to one point.
And
Yeah.
even when we were watching the winner is, we
Yeah.
were on the video
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God, it's going to be Leah.
Yeah.
Not that I dislike Leah,
No,
but
no.
the work that Juliet had done, we knew Ricardo was
Yeah.
out of the running. And that dress was stunning that she had made. But it was the fact that Leah, who, you know, I will readily admit I wrote her off every week saying she'd reached her peak, was then
She
like,
was-
well, is she now going to take it?
Yeah. Because that's why it was, because she'd won one, that's why it came down to, because she'd won
You're
one,
right,
Juliet had
yeah,
won one, so at the
yeah.
end it was going to be
Yeah,
tied
yeah.
between them two.
Yeah.
And especially because they were convinced, Esme, that this was off centre.
It
and
was.
it should have been.
Well,
but she had designed it that way. And
She
I have
designed
seen
it,
plenty that
but
are like that.
she designed it off
That
centre,
needs
but
to
it
be
wasn't
higher.
big enough
Yeah.
to be off centre.
And it
It
was a
needed-
bit straight.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
where it met,
Yeah.
it almost looked like it was pulling
Yeah.
slightly.
Yeah.
But it was just beautiful. Oh, it was just beautiful.
Although she said she was going to make that for the wedding
for
dress.
her cousin. Yeah, and she said it
Yeah.
again on
Yeah.
Instagram. She's like, yeah, I'm going to make that for her.
So you get that
Really?
get that
Yeah.
neckline sorted out, and that'll be fine.
Fabulous.
It was a
can you
lovely
imagine?
ending, though, wasn't it? When
Oh,
they
yeah.
announced it was her, we
And
were like,
everybody
oh,
comes in
yeah.
for hugs. And when it was so nice
Yes,
seeing everybody
yeah.
back again, where they all came in to see what was
Yeah,
on the
we were
reels. and-
R-ing lots and
Yeah.
And it's because it's that same show that does the Great British Bake Off. It was when they then do the catch up at the end. You know, since the
Yes.
end of the sewing
Yeah,
bee,
yeah.
Yes.
and it was what's his name was having the baby.
Lexi.
Yeah, Lexi,
Yes.
Tugger, which was lovely.
Yeah. And Ben is now making his own fabrics and things.
And then the poor guy who got done first out,
Oh,
when he came on,
Tom?
and we were
Was it
like,
Tom?
"Who's that?"
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Forgotten
he went in
about
with
that.
one. But yeah, so it was nice to see that they're all
Yeah.
still
They're all
sewing.
still
and-
doing things. And yeah, because like I said, I started following them online, and it's so nice to see them. They're running classes
Mm.
and getting involved in the community and sharing that knowledge as well, which is just awesome.
Well, it's
Thank you.
inspired us, hasn't it? So
Yes.
if it's inspired us and they're now going out
Yeah.
and inspiring others, is
I was saying
brilliant.
to you earlier as well, a friend of mine, we're friends since we were younger, but she's now started sewing, and she's making her first cushion covers
Oh,
and
brilliant.
patching it
Yeah.
all, and we all have to start with cushion covers. I think it's in the rules. But yeah, it's really
Or
nice.
aprons, which is what we're going to be
Yes.
doing. Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited. If we ever get started.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
So
Soon.
we're hopefully going to carry on because we're still inspired. So we're going to carry
Yes.
on making. And I know many of you out there want to learn with us. So we're going to learn together, aren't we?
Yes, and it's going to be all the fun.
There's a lot of techniques you say in the pattern.
Yes, with the
I found my sewing Bible. I should bring it in. It's the Reader's Digest Sewing Bible. It's so old, but
So along with the Woolly Wednesdays, we will then have a sew along.
yeah. So
Which is our
expect that
job.
in the next few weeks. Some of us are away. Sorry.
And
Just
we'll,
right. Our
we'll
job
throw
for
some
the
challenges
holidays.
your way every now and again.
Yeah, well, I've got loads of old patterns, haven't I? So I'm going to go back to try and doing a shift dress or something.
You look fabulous in shift dress.
Well, as you say, there are no men's patterns. Well, perhaps I'll try and do. I'm not doing a shirt.
You can
Definitely
make me a
not doing
shift dress.
shirt.
I
Okay.
like a good shift dress.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who you can make dresses for.
He's making me a shift
You
dress,
could, you
okay?
could make uniforms for your shop staff.
But it's been great. It's been great
Yeah.
doing the videos, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the Sewing Bee videos. It's been great talking about them, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
been
it's been
nice hanging
intense doing it weekly, but
Yeah.
that's been fun though.
Yeah.
Really.
And the auditions are there for next year
Yes,
for
they're
Sewing
open.
Bee. So, we could be
Still
talking
only
about you.
surely.
Yes, let us know if you're entering, actually. That would be awesome. It'd be so good to find people that are actually entering. We can follow along.
But I know many of you have been inspired, and you've left comments about. Actually, one of the comments someone raised, and maybe you two can answer this, was about Patrick and his tie being tucked into his trousers.
Yes, I completely missed that. I just thought it was a long tie.
It is a long tie, but I was always taught for gentlemen to have their ties, it should finish
Tuck into
At the
the shirt.
top.
just
At the
above
top of your trousers,
like your
yeah.
trouser, your belly button.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether he has got them too long and therefore embarrassingly has tucked them in, or whether actually that is a
'cause that was-
gentleman.
He's a gentleman's outfitter, so I'm pretty sure he'd know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there was a style years ago, especially with the skinny ties, to have them long and tucked in.
So if anyone
So
does
I
know
just
the
assumed
answer
it was
to
on
that,
purpose.
and let us know. Maybe what we were taught is now outdated.
You're pretty old, Stuart.
I don't think it's that. I think, it's still common to have it. That's the measurement of a tie. I think if it's too high or much lower
But
than
as
that.
you say, he's a gentleman's outfitter, so why would he have it even longer?
Because he likes the style of it.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
And if he's making trousers, and suits traditionally,
Maybe his
they're much,
trousers are
technically trousers are supposed to be much higher waisted.
He's
It's
got
only modern.
He's got
On your waist, aren't
what
they?
you call him? Your man Kyle, Simon Kyle trousers.
Yeah, it's supposed to sit on your waist. When we go for an outfitters to go,
They always measure it up round by your belly button, but in reality, you wear it on your
It's like,
hips.
oh no, pull them down. Oh, you don't wear them there. You wear them up high. It's like
With a nice pair of braces.
Yeah.
I got myself some old vintage trousers when I was
Feels
in London. They're fab.
But so hopefully you'll carry on watching and enjoying the rest of our videos.
Yes, we will be dragging Ting in on the regular.
I'm sure.
Well,
Just
we'll
say.
see. You might not see me for another year.
It's just mean. We do have a Jen hovering in the background and she refuses to be in. Oh, please. Hey. But yes, that is it for now. Thanks a million for watching.
Indeed, as always.
Please like and subscribe and all the good jazz for more upcoming things.
Yeah, and perhaps see you with our sew along very soon.
Yes.
Great one.
He'll be here for this.
Bye.
Bye.
You are wonderful.